Okay, integers are positive and negative, but it's a very specific type of number. It can't just be any number. It's a very specific type of number. We can have negative and positives of any number, but an integer specifically is very specific.
Isn't it like a small number in the top right?
That is an exponent, but that's a really good thought. We will get to exponents. Eva?
Any numbers 1 to 10?
Nope, not 1 to 10.
Negative 10 to 10.
Nope. These are integers right here, everything you see right here, but it's not just strictly negative 10 to 10. Do you guys see any decimals on this page? Do you see any fractions on this page? Which means integers must be whole numbers. So integers are positive and negative whole numbers. You guys will not see any fractions this unit.
Yes.
Except for like maybe on like absolute value, okay, which I'll explain later. There is no fractions, there are no decimals. Integers are not fractions, they are not decimals, they are whole numbers. Is that understood? Questions about that at all? Okay, so now if we look, it says how integers are represented on a number line. Here's your number line, guys. You have to be able to draw a number line. 0 is always in between your positives and negatives. Always. 0 is what breaks the two apart. Positive numbers always go what direction?
Right.
Always. That's never, ever, ever going to change, guys. Positive numbers will always go to the right. Positive numbers will also always go up. So right or up. Which means negative numbers always go down or left. Those directions, guys, will never change. Then do you guys notice that when 0 starts in the middle, it goes 1 and negative 1?
Yeah.
2 and negative 2? 3 and negative 3, and so forth and so on? Okay? 0's like a mirror. Your positives mirror your negatives. Your negatives mirror your positives. So, have to be able to write that number line out. So, integers in the real world. There are things that we do where it is considered a positive integer, meaning if we were talking about something specifically, okay, like if we are hiking and they say that we are climbing up a mountain, is that a positive integer or a negative integer? Positive, because I'm climbing up. So anytime they use the word up, that is a positive integer. You are going up. It is the direction in which you are going. What word do you think is then a negative integer? Down. So if you see down, that is a negative integer. You would have a negative sign. Somebody think of another word that can mean positive. If I see this word, it would be a positive integer. Sana? Right, sure. What's the opposite of right? So left would be a negative. McKinley? Yes, but I need it to be like if I'm going to write it. So I need it to be like a sentence, like something in the real world. What is happening that could be a positive number? Sam?
Growing.
Say that.
Growing.
Growing. Emery, we're not doing that. We're gonna go. Okay, what else could be a positive integer? Something going up.
I'm like rising.
Rising. decreasing.
Blowing up.
Blowing up. Joe?
Like a deposit.
Absolutely, a deposit. Have you guys all heard that word before?
Yeah.
When your parents talk about they deposited money into the bank account, they're putting money in, that makes their bank account go up. Deposit means goes up. Climbing, well, we kind of, climbing could be either directions. We can't just say climbing. This one?
No, the one above.
Rising.
Looks like an M.
Rising. Okay. What about negative? Going down.
Falling.
Falling. Jake. Declining. Connor. Decreasing. Olivia. Shrinking. Anyone know the opposite of deposit? Eva? No, that's okay. Cooper?
Drawing.
Withdrawal. We're just going to say withdrawal. Yes, you are withdrawing. It's a hard, weird word to say. So, deposit, put in, withdrawal, take out. I'm going to also add in here positive. If we're earning money, that's a positive, right, guys? Anything that talks about you gaining money, earning money, or the opposite of that would be if you're spending money. Spending money, losing money, anything that has to be money's going down. Eva.
Would dying be a negative integer?
I mean, technically speaking, I don't know how we'd write that, but technically speaking. Okay, so are we seeing the difference between positive words and negative words? Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the next page, because you should have a blank page right next to it. We're going to title it Intro to Integers. And I'm going to give you this example. Everyone write that down for me. Sarah lost 6 inches of fabric. Sarah lost 6 inches of fabric. Circle the key word that would tell you if this is a positive number or a negative number. What do we circle, everyone?
Lost.
Excellent. Now, is lost a positive number or a negative number?
Negative.
So if it's a negative number, I need to write a negative sign. And what is negative? So my answer to this question, because all they're asking you to do is be able to read a sentence and write whether it's a positive number or a negative number. So my answer is -6. That's all they're asking you to do is, can you read a sentence and tell me is it a positive or a negative? Does that make sense, everyone? Okay, do this one for me. Mark deposited $89 into his account. Circle the keyword. What is it, you guys?
Positive.
Now, what did we say? Is positive a positive number or a negative number?
Positive.
So we should write a positive with what?
89.
There's one other way that we can write this. Eva? Just 89. You can write it either way. I will accept both answers. Because you do not need the plus sign, but you can add it and be fine. Notice I also didn't label anything, did I? I'm not putting dollar signs. I'm not putting inches. Now, can you? Absolutely. You just don't have to. Connor.
Isn't the proper way to put the plus sign though? First, when you're doing a positive number?
Technically, all numbers are positive unless there's a negative sign in front of it. So that's why you don't have to. It's one of those invisible math rules. It's always there, just never seen. Does that make sense, Connor? Good question. Does that make sense, everyone? Any questions about how to write an integer? Okay. What about if I want you to graph integers? So we want to graph them now. Meaning I give you this example. 2, -3, 6, -1, 4, and 0. When I say graph, I mean graph on a number line. So your first step is to draw a number line if they don't give you one. If they give you a number line, do you have to draw one? No, but because it's our notebook, they're not giving us one, are they? So we got to draw it. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line. And I want to make it go from my smallest number to my biggest number. So when I look at this, what is the smallest number that you see? -3, which means I want the first number to be a -3 because it is my smallest number. Now, if I write -4 or -5, is that okay?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay? It is okay to have more numbers. You just must have at least a -3. Is that understood? What comes next right here? Nope. -2. You can't skip numbers. You have to go in order. So it's -3, -2. Then what comes?
-1.
So it's a number line. You have to go in order of the numbers every single time. What comes next?
0.
Don't forget that 0. Now, what number do I want to go to on the positive side? I want to go to what? 6, because 6 is my largest number, so I need 6 on my number line. So what comes after 0? Then what? Next? Everyone. Next? Everyone. What comes after 4? And after 5? Now, once again, you could keep going. You could put a 7. You could put an 8. It does not matter. But you must have at least all of the numbers that you need to graph. Make sense? Connor?
Could you start by putting a 0 in the middle?
Totally can. Don't matter. Okay, now, all you have to do, guys, is put dots where the numbers are. Meaning, if I have 2, where do I want to put a dot? I want to put a dot on 2. Because that's where 2 is on my number line. What's my next number? I want to put a dot on -3. Where's the next one? The next one? After negative 1? What's the last one? Make sense?
I thought integers would be like very hard, but like they're actually pretty simple.
You realize this is just the basic starting, right, dude? You haven't even gotten to half of integers. This is literally just the beginning. Okay, last example. Okay, here is 3, negative 3, 2, negative 1, 4. Plot those numbers on a number line for me, guys. Three, negative 3, 2, negative 1, and 4. This. I think it's coming still. Alright, so your guys's should look like mine. Or at least very similar, right? If your spacing is a little different than mine, is that okay?
Yeah.
Yep. We just ask that you have roughly the same amount of space in between each number. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect because you're handwriting it, right, guys? Okay? If you put a negative 4, is that okay?
Yeah.
If you added a 5, is that okay?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Any questions on writing or graphing integers?